Good afternoon, everyone. Now we are going to discuss the second part of the presentation, that is the major saline features of the Code on Wages Act 2019. So here it is the overview. As Gaurav sir has already explained how these four acts has been now merged into a single act, and that will be called as Code on Wages Act 2019. So here are some major applications of this code. This code has been notified by the central government on August 8, 2019. This act applies to the whole of the India. Further, this code extends to all the establishment and all kind of employees. This code is more beneficial for those who are working in the unorganized sector, as now they are getting legal protection of minimum wages under this code. Further, the major application of this code is that it has removed the various limitations and conditions of previous wage laws.
So whole India means including Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes.
Earlier, always it was an exception for Jammu and Kashmir. Now the Indian laws are commonly applicable to whole of Indian geography. First time.
So here are the details of the chapters under this act. So this code contains 9 chapters and 69 sections. The chapter 1 is the preliminary, which contains the basic definitions of employee, employer, establishment, worker, and so on. Chapter 2 is minimum wages. It contains the criteria for deciding the minimum wages. Chapter 3 is payment of wages, the mode of paying the wages, and timelines for the payment of wages. Chapter 4 is payment of bonus, the calculation methodology for paying the bonus, inclusion and exclusion of establishment for the applicability of the bonus. Chapter 5 is advisory board, that is decided for fixing the minimum wages. It includes employers, employees, and some members from state government. Chapter 6 is payment of dues, claims, and audit. It contains the roles and responsibility of the employer for paying the dues, undisbursed claim, and timely audit of the records. Chapter 7 is the inspector cum facilitator. So he is the person appointed by the central government for the better compliance of the code. Chapter 8 is the offenses and penalties. This chapter contains the different penalties for the different offenses. Chapter 9 is the miscellaneous. This chapter contains the format of various forms, registers, and wage slip. So here it is the definition of an employer. Basically, employer is a person who employs one or more person in his establishment, whether directly or by any contract. In relation to those establishments who are not carried out by the central or state government, an employer is a person who has the ultimate control over the establishment related matters. A contractor is also defined as an employer under this act. The legal representative of the deceased employer is also an employer. So we have already discussed the definition of worker and employee. The term worker is basically used for those who are employed in any industry, whether the term employee is used for those who are working in establishments like ISA. So the staff working, the professional and ancillary staff will be known as employee in our institute. So the definition of employee is broader than the definition of worker because it covers all those individuals who are covered in the definition of worker, but it also includes 3 categories of supervisory, administrative, and managerial capacities. The contract labor, I don't think we need to discuss this. Gaurav sir has already explained this in detail. So the minimum wages. So for fixing the minimum wages, central government will decide a floor wage as a benchmark value, taking into account the minimum living standard of the worker. The basic logic behind deciding the floor wage is to provide all the workers across the nation a minimum living standard. The minimum wages decided by the central or state government should be higher than the floor wages. This code prohibits employers from paying the less wages than the minimum wages. The minimum wages will be revised with an interval of not more than 5 years. Here is the calculation methodology for fixing the minimum rate of wages. So minimum rate of wages, when the advisory board decides the minimum rate of wages, it take into account the various criteria like the standard family of 4 persons, net intake of calories per year, cloth requirement, housing and rent expenditure. So we could say the minimum wages is not only the roti kapda or makan, It does not only include the food, cloth, and house accommodation. It also includes the categories like the fuel, electricity, children education, and medical allowances also. So the per day basis, if anyone employs someone on per day basis, so the rate will be decided by the central or state government. If anyone employs someone on per hour basis, then the per hour rate will be divided by 8. Why 8? Because as per this act, a normal day constitutes of 8 hours. If someone employs someone on per month basis, then the per day rate will be multiplied by 26. Here it is the definition of wages. Wages, it means all remuneration payable to a person. Basically, the definition of wages includes only 3 components. First one is the basic pay, second one is the dearness allowance, and third one is the retaining allowances, if any. Further, it includes bonus, HRA, conveyance allowance, overtime allowance, gratuity, and all. This definition includes if the sum of all the excluded categories is more than half of the total remuneration payable, then the excess amount will be added back to the wages. I have prepared a case study for the better understanding of this definition. So here I have mentioned the basic pay as 10,000, DNS allowance as 3,500 rupees, then HRA, conveyance allowance, bonus, PF share of employer, and overtime. So all those components I have highlighted with blue color are the excluded categories. So as per this definition, if the sum of these excluded categories exceeds the 50% of total salary, then the excess amount, this amount will be added back to the definition of wages. So here the sum of excluded categories is 18,600 rupees, and the 50% of the total salary is 16,050 rupees. Excess amount is this minus this, and this will be added to the definition of wages. Wages only include basic, it means 10,000, DA, it means 3,500, plus the difference amount. Difference amount, this will be added to the definition of wages. Payment of wages. The wages can be paid in the following ways: current coins, currency notes, by check, by crediting into the bank accounts, or through electronic mode. This code has provided the flexibility to the employer for fixing the wage period, and the wage period may be either fixed as daily, weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. Here are the deadlines for payment of wages. If anyone employs someone on daily basis, then the payment of wages should be done by the end of the day or end of the shift. If someone employs someone on weekly basis, then the payment of wages should be done by the last day of the week. If someone employed on a fortnightly basis, then the payment of wages should be done before the end of the second day of the completion of fortnight. If the fortnight period, for example, if the fortnight period ends on 15th of the month, then the payment of wages should be done before the completion of the 17th of that particular month. Monthly basis, before the expiry of the 7th of the next succeeding month. Overtime allowance. The central or state government may fix the number of hours that constitute a normal working day. As it is decided in this code is 8 hours. In case any employee works in extra hours, then he will be entitled to overtime wages, and the overtime wages will be paid twice the normal rate of wages. For example, if for any category the per day rate is rupees 80, then per hour rate will be 80 divided by 8, then per hour rate will be 10 rupees. If anyone works for 2 extra hours, then overtime will be must be at least twice the normal rate. The normal rate multiplied by 2. The normal rate will be 2 into 10, 20 rupees, and multiply, and he will get overtime on twice the rate of normal rate. 40 rupees he will get as the overtime allowance. Here are the wage deduction. The code has defined certain grounds for deducting the wages of any employee or worker. The grounds are fines, accommodation given by the employer, recovery of any advances given to the employee, or absence from the duty. Wage deduction limit. The wages can be deducted up to a limit of 50% of a particular wage period in from wages. If any deductions are more than 50%, then the recovery of those deduction will be done from the next succeeding months. Further, this code has defined no employer can impose the fine on any employee without giving him an opportunity for showing the cause against the fine. Equal pay for equal work. This code has directed all the employees to pay equal wages for equal work. It prohibits the discrimination based on gender during the time of recruitment. and the wage discrimination based on the gender. Offenses and penalty. Offenses and penalty we have already discussed. The inspector cum if any employer violates any rule of this code, then inspector cum facilitator will give him an opportunity to comply with the rules and will not start the legal proceeding against him. If the employer repeats the same kind of violation again and again, then he can start the legal prosecution against him. And the first time fine, the fine which is imposed first time to any employer is rupees 50,000. If the same kind of repetition is done, then he will be fined with rupees 1 lakh or 3 months of imprisonment. Bonus calculation, however, the bonus is not applicable to our institute. We are exempt from this. But for the knowledge sake, the minimum limit for bonus is 8.33%, and the maximum bonus payable to any employee is 20%. Here are the various forms and registers and wage slip. So the form 1 is for the register of wages. It contains all the details of wages, overtime, fine, deduction or damage and loss paid to any particular employee of the establishment. Form 2 is the single application. If any employee thinks that he is getting less than the minimum wages, then he can submit an application to the authority. Form 3 is the appeal. If any employee is unhappy with any order passed by the establishment, then he can appeal before the appellate authority. Form 4 is the employee register. It contains all the details about the employee employed in that particular establishment. Form 5 is the wage slip format. Every employer shall issue a wage slip to each of his employees. Form 6 is the application for composition of offenses. Here it is the summary table. We will share the slides to everyone. It is because it is the repetition, so everyone can get the extracted points of the presentation in this summary table. So conclusion, the need to reform and bring the simplicity, flexibility and transparency seems to be addressed in this code. We need to get ourselves familiarized with this code and understand the impacts on various operations.